Hey, what's up out there, everybody? This is Pastor Amy Rucker, the senior pastor of the Christian Empowerment Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to just take this moment to reflect on what everybody has been talking about, and it is the Nipsey Hussle murder, along with Eric Holder, who is the suspected killer. I just wanted to look at it from a different perspective and see what can we learn from the life of this brilliant, gifted, talented father that lost his life. And here's what I came up with. I want you guys to share this video and put in the comments what you think about what I shared with you. What we can learn from the life of Nipsey Hussle. Number one thing I got is watch the people that are in your stands but aren't cheering. The enemy is usually someone we know or familiar with us, which is the craziest thing because everybody ain't rooting for you to win just because you're winning. And everybody don't like you being positive when you're positive. The funny thing is sometimes your dopeness make them see how dope they're really not, or your hustle make them see how they're really not grinding. So that is one of the things that I got. Number two, the dangers of covenant. The Bible says this. It says, do not covet. Thou shalt not covet. And covenant leads to jealousy and hate. You desire what a person has, but you don't know what the person had to struggle, sacrifice, or do to get it. See, oftentimes we want something because somebody else has it, but you don't even understand the work they put in to get it. We look at people's lives and it frustrates us when we look at our own. That's called self-hatred. So it really wasn't that Nipsey Hussle had done anything to Eric Holder. Eric Holder just was looking at Nipsey Hussle's life and figured, this is somebody I know that can put me on. And instead of you perfecting your gifts, you killed this man out of jealousy and hate. Which would lead me to my next point, what would be, well, not my next point. I'll say it like this. Put in the work if you want the results. Put in the work if you want the results. And so that does lead me to my next point. Perfect your gifts and they will make room for you. Which would be the lesson that we learned from Eric Holder. Perfect your gifts and they will make room for you. That's one of the lessons we can learn from Eric Holder. Another lesson we can learn from Nipsey Hussle life is, don't look at my past and think you can dictate or predict my future. What I used to do doesn't determine what I'll do today. And one of the things I love about him, which is another lesson that we can learn, is Nipsey Hussle seek to be influential and not famous. See, there's a lot of people that want to be famous, but that doesn't equal influence. So Martin Luther King was influential, or Marilyn Monroe was famous, but she wasn't influential. So therefore, one of the things we learn from this brother's life is he sought to be influential and just not famous. Anybody can be famous. Fame can come overnight. But be influential. Make change. Don't just talk about the change, or just don't talk about the streets. Help change them. Be what you want to see. Be the change you want to see. The change starts with you, and he did that in his community. So that's another lesson we can learn from him. And one of the most valuable things that we can learn from him is this. Death has no age. So do all you can today to leave your legacy tomorrow. And that's a great way to offer salvation to anybody. You don't know when death is coming for you. So you better make it right with God. Get your life in order. Set things straight. Because you don't know what tomorrow brings for you. 1 minute you could be standing outside your store rapping with some of your homeboys. And your life is taken just like that. Some of the things we can learn from Eric Holder's life is this. Stop looking for handouts and hand-ups. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. You got to make it happen for you. Quit waiting for somebody to do something for you that you need to be doing for yourself. And I listened to some of, they say he was a rapper, allegedly. His music wasn't that great. So that goes to the point I just said previously. Perfect your gifts so they can make room for you. I wouldn't put you on either. Listen to some of that stuff. I'm not saying that this was the case, but we know that there was an altercation that Nipsey Hussle didn't want the young man around. And that goes to another point. Pride before destruction. Get out your pride and get out your ego. You get mad over somebody not wanting you to be around doing something you ain't had no business. That is not worth getting upset about and taking somebody's lives. Quit looking at your own inadequacies and getting mad at somebody else. You ruined a life for nothing, which leads me to my next point is the fact that we'll do this. We'll destroy the very thing sent to help us. We always want to kill off the people that God sent to help. If this was your way in, why didn't you just wait until the time was right? See, the one thing about Judas in the story of Jesus Christ was Judas wanted to expedite Jesus bringing his kingdom to earth, but he did it at the wrong time. There's benefits to being number two. You had access to this man, but yet you got impatient and got beside yourself. You put the cart before the horse. And sometimes we feed the hand, we bite the hand that feed us. Just stupidity. And so that's one of the things we can learn from Eric Holder's life is to wait for God's timing. If you already had access, that means you had privileges that some people didn't. But you didn't know how to play that. You didn't know how to work that out right. So if I said nothing else, just know that in spite of whatever it is you're going through, it doesn't matter what it is. Then know that leave a legacy that means something. And we look at this man and we say, yeah, he was a gang member. But then he was getting ready to change the very thing he used to be. That's a beautiful thing. That sometimes somebody got to make it out to go back in to save others. I'm Pastor Amy Rucker. These are my thoughts. Tell me what you think about what I said and what I shared. Listen, we can learn lessons from Nipsey Hussle's life. He would want us to learn something from his death. And one thing I've noticed is that people become more valuable when they're dead. Sales are through the roof. Streaming is through the roof. Celebrate these people while they're alive. Have that same energy in their life than you do in their death. I'm Amy Rucker. Peace.